So I do have things like little weird things. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if they're called moves necessarily, but they're little Jeff-isms.
Could be, yeah, or a tick or something.
Yeah, so like I have a rule: we're not allowed to get out of my car if Creedence Clearwater and Revival is playing.
you gotta wait it out.
CCR, you gotta wait for the end of the song. I love CCR. I pick up trash, which I've never said this out loud. If I see garbage on the ground, like a unless it's gross, like if it's like wet or something. But like if I see a piece of garbage on the ground, I pick it up and I put it in the garbage.
Yeah, which is what you're supposed to do.
You see at airports all the time. Yeah. Not my garbage, just any garbage.
Any garbage.
This is a strong chair.
It is. They're not the chairs we want. They're the chairs we have.
Oh, I got that.
They came from the old studio.
Is it comfy though?
Yeah.
It's got makes me want to do the impression of Sacha Baron Cohen. And it's like, look at me, I'm in a chair, I'm a king.
I'm just sitting
I'm
here.
USA #1 king.
Oh la la, oh, king in the castle, king in the castle. I have a chair.
Because your arms are
presented. Yeah, and I tend to slouch. By the end of the episode, I'll probably be somewhere like down here.
What is that from? What do you think that's from?
This is just from me being a lazy asshole my whole life, just chilling.
Why don't I call you lazy?
Well, when I watch TV, I'm lazy.
Okay.
But I've recently moved my television to my bedroom, so I don't watch it in the living room anymore.
Can you pay your bills?
For now.
Not lazy.
These fucking writers need to get back to work.
Oh, I know, right?
Or
that's actually kind of helped me a little bit.
Has it really?
Yeah, because I'm in a lot of like non-scripted television spaces, or like these things that don't need, game shows, or like these kind of like whatever. It's all called non-scripted. And if there's no script, that means you don't need writers.
That's right.
I'll tell you though, what I was thought about doing this on stage, but I think it would only work in Los Angeles. It's like you feel bad for the writers. Mm-hmm. You go, that's too bad, man. These guys are getting screwed. Yeah. But then you see them outside with their signs and shit. They all look like Michael Moore. I'm going, these are the writers?
Yeah. These are the guys and
Maybe
girls.
we should get them back in the writer's room. I don't want to believe that these people wrote Two Broke Girls.
They're roasting to death out there. They've never seen the sun.
They look terrible.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing that happens, and this happened in 2009 in the last writer's strike, or maybe it was 2010, I don't remember, but commercials just completely go away.
Oh, yeah?
Which is odd because they still need to sell stuff.
Right. Advertisers you think would be like settle quickly.
Yeah, but they don't. And the people who write commercials are just in-house at the advertising agency. So they're not like on the picket line.
Yeah.
But commercials just completely dry up.
Well, that's weird because you'd think that like isn't like all the arguing about like residuals and shit? Mm-hmm. Do you get residuals on commercials?
Well, actors do.
Okay.
Directors and the crew don't.
Yeah. And the writers do?
No.
So then why the writers care?
Commercial writers shouldn't care.
Right.
But I think it's the brands. They don't want to sell ads on old reruns.
Okay.
So they're not shooting new commercials for shows that aren't going to come out.
Okay.
Or that's the only thing I can come up with.
It's confusing. I've never had a commercial agent longer than like a few days. And I've multiple times gotten a commercial agent. But the problem is I have too much pride.
Right. Oh, you don't want to do commercials?
Well, no, I do. I go, hey, that looks good. Or let's get some money. I'll hawk whatever company pays me enough. I don't have no pride with that. You got to live.
Yeah.
And also, it's not like I'm starving. Yeah. But I'm using the expression "you got to live" as like I have a price. Yeah. I don't care what the company is if they're going to pay me to do the thing. I'm fine with that. I'm very capitalistic that way. However, what happens is when you have a commercial agent, to the people that watch this that might not know, my commercial agent just will email me at like 11 a.m. on a Monday. Like, I need you to go to Santa Monica at noon dressed as a pirate.
Right.
Like, no.
Now. Yeah.
Never,
like,
dude.
What's the rate? They're like, $600?
I was like, $100?
No, dollars.
No matter what it is. Yeah. Like, that's the audition. Can't they pretend I'm a pirate during the audition? What do you mean I have to dress up like a pirate?
And would you want someone who can just become a pirate that quickly?
Like, no. What, do they think I have a prop closet at my house?
And
it's me and 700 other guys and Adam Ray sitting there going like, and I just go, I can't do this shit. They're like, we need you to be a businessman in Hermosa Beach in 45 minutes. I was like, no, I got lunch with I'm not. So because I keep telling them no, they go, well, you don't work for us anymore. Right.
And you're like, no, you don't work for me anymore.
I'm not doing it.
They forget how it works, right? They're supposed to work for us.
Can you be a cowboy in Buena Beach?
I just finished Yellowstone, so anything cowboy right now.
I know, right?
Yeah.
You know what's weird about that is I used to hate cowboy shit.
Yeah.
growing up, anything with like Western did nothing for me.
Yeah.
Then I played Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay.
Got super into it. Also, at the same time I was playing Red Dead Redemption 2, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs came out.
Did you like it?
Oh, I was obsessed with it. I love the Coen brothers, and I loved that movie.
Yeah.
So those two things, since then, I've went back and watched every Western. I love Yellowstone. Like, I love pretty much anything in that wheelhouse now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My parents watched Bonanza when I was growing up. That was the closest thing I got to Western
like a
stuff.
comedic country sitcom.
It was like it was basically a sitcom, but it was shot on a stage.
Okay.
But it was shot out here somewhere. But yeah, then I didn't really get into Western-y stuff. You know, like I'm totally blanking. He's still working and directing. Clint Eastwood stuff. Yeah. But recently, like after Yellowstone, I was like, give me all of Yellowstone. So there's a prequel. There's 2 prequels.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's the first season, 1881, is Tim McGraw and his wife.
Okay.
That's only 1 season. And they have a very beautiful daughter in that whole sequence. But that's how they get out and get the land. Okay. And then there's 1923, which is they're going to have a 2nd season of that. But that's...
we don't do anything in order anymore.
Harrison Ford. No. You have to prove that it works. And then you got to go, well, let's tell you what happened before it happened. It's all really ridiculous.
The cool part about that is like, if a character dies, you go, well, maybe I'll see more of that character if they make a prequel.
Yeah.
But everything's out of order.
Exactly.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know, like, what do you mean this is the second 3 and then the first 3?
Yeah.
Came out in the 2000s. Now,
but they redid 4, 5, and 6 one time because yeah,
it's confusing. I was always jealous of young people. I'm like, imagine getting to watch Star Wars in order. How cool is that? That's pretty lucky.
That's really great.
Yeah, and then also like with the Michael Jordan won all these championships for the Chicago Bulls in the 90s, and if you watch The Last Dance, they did like a Star Warsy thing where they show you the final, then they go back and you go, why are you jumbling this around?
Yeah,
we could have told this story in order.
Yeah. You've seen The Godfather, right?
I watched it when I was young.
So The Godfather 1 and 2 are the only legit ones. Godfather 3 is just kind of a hack.
It's like
piece of shit.
Caddyshack 2.
But they jump out of order. Yeah, exactly. Caddyshack 2. Both films just kind of hop around time. Somebody at HBO cut them both into one 7-hour movie in linear order.
Oh,
it's the
nice.
only way to watch it.
Does it plays better?
Yeah.
See, why didn't they just do that in the first place? Everything's like Memento now.
Well, they didn't know they were making a second one.
Okay.
Did you see the show on Paramount Plus about how they made the first Godfather?
No. I'm very, I don't know much about mob stuff.
Oh, you don't like mobs?
It's not that I don't.
Yeah.
I just don't care about it much.
Okay.
One of my best friends, Randy Valerio, you know this guy? He's the best. He's from Queens, New York. He's hilarious and he's fun and he's also a wild card, which is I find exciting. You know, you never know what you're going to get sometimes.
Could go crazy.
Yeah, Randy might pop off and break someone's face, or he might just get drunk and laugh. You don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
But he knows so much about the mob that we went to the mob museum in Vegas, and he knew more than the people that ran it and worked there.
Does he know a guy?
I think he knows a lot of guys, or at least he used to. But nobody in the mob. Yeah, he's got like tough guys that he knows. You know.
Yeah,
I don't think the mob still exists.
They're around. Yeah. They're not what they were. I was born in New York. And then I moved to North Carolina when I was 3. Yeah. But I always had that, I always fantasized, like if I had stayed in New York growing up, I would have been a guy.
You know what's funny is, if I was ever in the mob, you know how quick I'd die?
Yeah, they call you Sticks or something.
I would die immediately. Because I want everyone to get along. Right. I also am I'm pretty proud person, so I don't like waver. I'm pretty unapologetic about my views and things. So it would, and also like, I'd be like, hey buddy, say, Isaac, man, you want me to whack you?
Yeah, sorry.
I don't want to do this. You seem like a good guy. You know what? Just fucking apologize. Can you just go apologize? Right. And then I go back. They're like, what do you mean you didn't whack him? I'm like, I don't know. We got to whack him. He seemed like a good guy. Like, I wouldn't be able to do what they'd need me to do.
I just wrote a sketch like that about a guy who goes, I got to kill you. And he's like, well, joke's on you. I got to kill you. And they kill each other at the end.
I like that. Yeah. Well, it's like, I feel like that in video games.
Yeah.
Like I'll play a video game with my nephews. Like they'll be like, it's Call of Duty. They're like, shoot that guy. I'm like, what did that guy do? Right. And he's like, well, you just shoot everybody. I'm like, you'd be a terrible soldier. What do you mean, just shoot everybody?
Yeah.
Like, but in my mind, that does make me a bad video game player. You can't be a Call of Duty pacifist. Well, just give me the files. I don't want to do this.
I just turned on Prox Chat because I've been playing Call of Duty every day.
Oh, really?
I work out in the gym. I ride my bike and play Call of Duty for an hour.
Hilarious.
And I've just kept Prox Chat off, which is for those of you who don't play, like you can hear players around you and you know that someone to kill is there.
Okay.
So, maybe you didn't know
I
that
didn't
either.
know that, no.
So that's only on like battle royale.
Okay.
Like you're on the huge map. So if someone's in the same building, you can hear them talking.
Interesting.
And I always turned it off because it was like fucking annoying. I didn't want them to hear what I could say, whatever. Yeah. But now
you were like a deaf soldier.
Yeah. Now I can hear them like they're going like, friendly, don't kill me. And I'm like, oh, you're definitely gonna die now.
Yeah,
I have to kill you. Yeah. It's part of the gig.
Friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad at this stuff. Like, I don't know, like I'm good at like wrestling video games.
Oh man.
Baseball video games. I like Mortal Kombat. Big Mortal Kombat head. But yeah, the Call of Duty ones, it just feels, I don't know what I feel like the level of competition is too hard.
Oh, interesting.
Like, have you ever played what's that one where they drop you in? All the young people like it. There's dances and stuff.
Yeah, it's Fortnite. Yeah, I played Fortnite for a while.
They just throw you to the wolves.
Oh yeah. And some of those people are so good.
Can't I play with other new guys like myself? And then why am I immediately, like if I was like, I think I'm going to entertain this basketball thing. Yeah. And they just put me in a Lakers game. Like everyone's dunking on me and making fun of how shitty I am. I'm like, that's exactly what, I was like, I don't know why anyone would want to play Fortnite.
Well, aren't you too short to be in the NBA now? 6'4".
I think I'd be considered cute. Yeah, they'd be like, look at that little one.
Well, they got that new guy, right? That out of high school. He's
Wemby.
7'8" or something.
You think he's 7'6" or something? I don't know what he is, but we were talking about. Do you like basketball a lot?
I'm not. I watch the finals of every sport, but I'm not a big sports guy.
Similar.
Yeah.
I go to every Lakers game, right? But here's the thing: I go to drink. I go to hang out. I like the game could not even be on. Like, I'm just having fun. I'm so like overstimulated by like being socialized. Yeah. Or being social. So here's the thing: all the players are good at everything now. Mm-hmm. Like Dennis Rodman just was like one of the greatest rebounders ever, and that's why he's in the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. No one expected him to shoot. Now you have like 7-footers. Right. Like Benson, they're like criticizing them for not making threes.
Yeah, I think LeBron kicked that off, right?
I think Dirk Nowitzki was the big, like the first 7-footer that just like could drill everything.
I mean, you got to be good at all of it, right?
I think if I'm 7 foot, isn't that good enough? I'm 7 foot. I'll get the rebounds. I'll dunk it. What do you mean I have to shoot outside?
I never understood why the tall guy just doesn't stand with his hands like this in front. Give me the ball. I'll put it in there. It's
exactly.
Like, how do you guard that?
That's like my hockey theory. Yeah. I was like, why don't you just get a huge fat guy? Get one of these big fucking fat guys, like
fat guy goalie.
And just put him in front. Put him in the gear. Make some gear.
Let him sit on his ass.
Yeah, you can't. He's like, what? This is just how I am.
Yeah.
They can't get mad at me for blocking the goal. No. This is like that. Like,
I mean, if you're sitting like Buddha style and you slide those pads sideways, they're a foot tall. You only have to move your hands a little bit.
Barely that. I mean, if you see how big these fat guys are,
get a sumo guy.
He doesn't even have to need skates.
I mean, to me, when someone scores in hockey, I'm like, how did you do that?
Yeah, it's amazing.
I mean, it's nuts.
That's why it only happens once or twice a game.
That's true.
Yeah.
It only happens a couple times in football too. You just get 7 points for it.
Yeah. So, has any of your guests ever told you that while you're looking at you, this is making like a 3D effect behind it?
Yes, and I'm going to fix that because it's happening to me as well. Right. So I'm building sound baffles that go behind your head.
Like in my mind, I'm like, I'm looking away from him a lot, but it's because this thing's making a weird 3D.
Didn't anticipate that. Also didn't know I was ripping off Bert's new studio in his house.
Oh, he's got one that looks similar?
He does the slats in his new house for his Two Bears set, which he only uses when Tom's in L.A.
Okay.
Which is super inside
I love baseball. That everybody has a podcast thing now.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. I don't normally build the sets out myself. I have a guy.
Nice.
Yeah. My buddy, shout out Tony Pizza. He built Tim Dillon's set, Joe Coy's set.
Tony Pizza.
Tony Pizza.
Have you seen Tim Dillon's house?
Which one?
The new one.
No.
It's incredible.
Yeah, is it here in LA?
Yeah, it's like up on. It's got a great view. I won't say
gotcha.
Where, just
yeah.
Where. But he invited me over for I can't remember what reason. He was having a bunch of people at his house. Mm-hmm. It was insane.
Oh, I think I've heard about this get together.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
From whom?
I think some folks talked about it on a pod.
Oh.
Was it for a holiday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were they saying? What do you mean?
Was Joe List there?
No.
Then this is not it. I think he had a party in the Hamptons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, this was just like a bunch of expensive food and a bunch of dudes. Well, no chicks.
There's a reason for both of those things. He really likes food.
Yeah.
Yeah. And dudes.
Yeah. But it was also just so impressive. I love that guy. I'm like fascinated by him and just think he's cool.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's like, I was like, oh, come over. And this is the takeaway that we had a great time. He had such a great group of dudes there. Like, it was a beautiful home. Everything about it was great. And then at one point, I was like, well, I got to get going. I'm going to go to the bar and drink with Bowers. And I'm trying to say goodbye to Tim, and he's gone. So then I call him, and he doesn't answer. And I was like, well, then I asked all the other people, and they go, I don't know, I think he left. I was like, he just left his own house and party?
He'll do that sometimes.
I'm just looking around, I go, that's so fascinating. What? So then I call, so that's when I called, after they said, we think he left. He doesn't answer, and then texts, who's this?
Hilarious.
And I was like, it's Jeff Dye. I was at your house a second ago. Also,
look up.
You invited me to. Right. And then he was like, oh, yeah, sorry, I had to go do some stuff. And it's just like, that's such a fascinating.
Yeah.
To leave your own home that you're hosting a bunch of people at.
Stay here, have fun, I'm out.
It's wild.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But that's also what makes him so interesting, is that he's such a unlike anybody else person.
He would do that on tour, too.
Yeah, oh, really?
He would just be like, he would just hop in an Uber. He's like, I'll be back. And you just leave the bus.
It's amazing.
And we're like, all right, we'll see you when you get back.
If me and him were really close friends, that would bother me.
Oh, yeah? I've been Irish goodbyeing lately a lot on purpose.
I think Irish goodbye is fine at night.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we're drunk or something, that's totally cool.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm a pretty needy guy, like, as far as, like, socially. Like, my buddy Josh, like, he'd be like, come down to San Diego. I'm like, all right. And then I'll come down there. He's like, all right, well, I'm working until 6. I go, you could have told me that before I drove down here.
Right.
And he's like, oh, sorry, man. I just assumed I work. And I was like, whatever. And then at 6 o'clock, he's like, so sorry, I forgot that I got to, like, deliver this wine. I'll be ready by 7. And I'm just sitting around because I want to hang and play, you know?
Yeah. It is odd for us that don't punch in and punch out every day, that, like, we'll go somewhere and we'll go, like, well, what? Just leave.
Yeah.
Just leave your job. I'm 100%.
Here. 100%. That's why I never bought. So I've almost bought a house in Arizona like multiple times.
Oh, yeah? What city?
Phoenix, Tempe, just somewhere in that like Scottsdale-y kind of like triangle of places. But I realized the only reason I have never committed to it is because I think Arizona is great. Because I only go on weekends. I do these shows. Yep. Everyone wants to see me. Everyone wants to hang out. Everyone's like, dude, you know, they're not work because it's the weekend.
That's right.
I'm not thinking about Tuesday morning when I'm gonna go like, let's go to the pool, and they're gonna be like, dude, it's a Tuesday and I sell houses. You know, I can't. do it. And then I leave every weekend. So when they would be able to do that, I'm gonna be like in Florida or something, and so I'd feel like all this FOMO of being like, shit, like I wish I was home hanging out with.
Except, I mean, if you go to Phoenix, right, or maybe Scottsdale, I don't know where it is, but where they have spring training.
Yeah, that'd
be fun during the week for a couple weeks a year.
Not alone. I'm not gonna go do it by myself.
Okay.
I go to spring training every year.
Oh, really?
Every single year.
The Florida one or the one out here?
I go to. I've only once accidentally been in Florida during their spring training for like Grapefruit League, and we went to a few games, but it's really spread out among all Florida. Whereas like in Arizona, every park is right there.
Yeah, it's like all
Cactus
in one.
League, it's the best, and also the games are cheap. I have so many baseball connections that like I get to go like hang out and do all that kind of stuff. I'm trying to think why. Oh, this last year, I tried out for the San Diego Padres.
Did you really?
It was amazing.
I made a documentary about the Lake Elsinore Storm.
Oh, nice.
And we had access all the way up through the Padres.
Oh, that's great.
Because you got to get it from the
right.
And then 2 weeks into the documentary, the catcher gets called up, and we got to go film at the Padres.
What was
Stadium.
his name? Do you know?
Oh, this was like 8 years ago.
But still,
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Because you didn't think. I mean, we had like one bonus baby on the whole team.
Yeah,
just pulls up in his Mercedes. This other dude pushes a cart with his fucking like luggage in it. If I can find it, I'll send you the clip.
I'd love to see that.
It was interesting. I mean, it got me into baseball, but I'm glad you brought baseball up because in my notes, I know you like to throw out the first pitch.
Yes.
Have you been to all of the stadiums, all of the major league games? Have you been to every stadium?
Yeah. So my first goal was to go to every Major League Baseball stadium because I just love baseball in general. It was my first love. And then second of all, every park is so interesting. Mm-hmm. We should make a movie about that.
Yeah.
Going to each park and each episode will be a different park, 30 episodes.
Yeah.
Right? Because each park has so many interesting things. It has its own charm.
You could do that without even going there to host it live. You could just VO that shit.
Yeah, that's true.
You just send a camera crew and get permission.
Yeah.
Film it, whatever.
I'd love to be there for it, though, because I know so much about the baseball parks, and I just really love... Like, you know, baseball is the only sport where there's no set dimensions. Like, the outfield wall can just be huge and tall.
Oh, right, yeah.
They can make a short one that's really close. For a long time in Houston, they had a thing called Tal's Hill, and it was just a hill. that was in the outfield.
Yeah.
And then they realized, well, these players are worth $200 million. Maybe we shouldn't be putting obstacles that could make them roll their ankle or whatever. But there was just a hill in the grass.
In the outfield.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it'd go warning track and then a hill and then the wall.
No.
It was called Tal's Hill. All these players got hurt.
That's
it was like
nuts.
a big. It was stupid. But the thing
How
is,
did they ride the little go-karts during the pre-show when they do the outer track with the mascots?
Yeah, they found a way. Yeah.
They're just banking around turn 4.
Well, they just go in front of the hill, But it's so like I just like that baseball. Every park has so many different things.
Yeah.
And every park has like in Citi Field when you hit a home run, an apple comes out of a top hat.
Right.
Or like Bernie the brewer in Milwaukee. For every home run, he goes down a big slide into a big stein of beer.
Nice.
There's just every city has some sort of charm. The Miami Marlins had a fish tank as their backstop with like saltwater fish.
Right.
They have a nightclub in the outfield with girls wearing pasties, like hot Miami chicks wearing pasties who serve you drinks.
Very Miami.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like just so many silly things about each park. So my goal was to go to every park. Did it super easy. So then I was like, all right, now my new goal is to go to every park in one season. Did that easily.
You did that too?
Yep. So the new goal was like, what's a harder goal to accomplish?
Okay.
So I was like, what if I throw a first pitch at every park?
In one season?
No, just for life. It's hard enough to get a first pitch.
Is it?
All 30, yeah.
Oh, wow. There's only 30. I thought there was 50 something.
No, 30 parks.
So you got to team up with your booking agent about this then, because you got to be like, I need to play near this because I got to hit this year.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I just like if they offer me a first pitch, I just go.
Yeah.
I don't even try to worry about making the money back or like having a shot. I mean, if I can, it'd be great because I'm doing the Rockies like next week.
Yeah, first time?
Yep. Okay. And
how many pitches have you thrown out for the first?
17.
17 out of 30.
17 ceremonial.
Have you doubled down on any of them?
No, and I also like I don't think. If the Mariners ask me to throw a first pitch every year, I'll say yes because that's like my team and where I'm from. But I think it's me just wasting slots if I keep throwing first pitches. Does that make sense?
It does.
I don't want someone else to not have it. I'd be like, I already did it.
Oh, gotcha. Because it's such an extreme honor you want to share the.
Yeah, and also like it's like, what am I doing it again for?
Yeah.
Wasting someone. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun, but it's also like, how much attention do I need at that point?
Right.
Like, I already kind of checked it off the list. I got the picture.
Would you ever do minors?
Yeah, I've actually thrown a bunch for the minors.
Yeah.
Those are a lot easier to do. Maybe that's the next goal.
Yeah.
Every minor. I mean, because you know how many there are.
There's 3 for every major league team, right? So there's
more than 3.
Because there's single A, double A, and triple A.
Yeah, and it's actually 6 leagues you have to get through.
Wow.
So there's like not an independent, but there's like there's lower affiliates. So it's I don't know what they would be called, but they're not single A, double A, or triple A.
It's like wrestling where they have like the
the indies.
Yeah.
You like wrestling?
I sure like going to it live, but watching it on TV. I didn't grow up watching TV at all.
Really?
Yeah, my parents were super religious.
Okay.
We didn't have cable. I don't know until I almost was out of the house.
And then now you're in filmmaking.
Yeah, by accident.
But that's wild.
Yeah, I moved out here with my band in 06.
Okay.
And then 3 days later, I was a PA on a music video. So I was like, okay, while we're waiting on our record deal, we'll just work these jobs. And my singer is now the head of music videos at Disney.
Nice.
My drummer owns an advertising agency with Kurt Cobain's little brother. My guitar player makes guitars from scratch for all the best guitar players in the world.
And you guys still do the band thing, or no?
No. Well, I mean, we get together and get drunk and jam like once every 4 years, but we're spread out all over the country.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, we were like, record deal or film business? Like, which lottery we're going to hit first? So,
Wait, well, both really fun while you do it.
Yeah.
What's your parents think? Are your parents still very religious?
My mom is, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's given up on the no TV thing. Like, is she?
Doesn't
care?
She has cable just so she can watch the Hallmark Channel.
Okay.
And she'll watch the same.
It was more about saying like, I just don't want my kids to watch TV.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Like usually parents like ease up a little bit over the years. Yeah. But she's kind of clamped down a little bit.
Like my mom used to be like super homophobic. Like she was like the most homophobic. Like we got kicked out of the church because she threw a big fit that there was like a lesbian teaching youth group. It was like a huge thing, and we were excited. We're like, we don't have to go to church anymore.
Yeah.
And my mom like held on to it forever, and then she just didn't know any gay people. And then now she has like a corporate job at Costco, and like I don't know, 20 years ago she started working with all these gay guys. And they're like her favorite people at work. Now my mom's like Miss Pride, you know, like, oh, we love, you know.
I can't go to church this weekend. I got to go to Pride.
Yeah, so like she eased up big time. You know?
Yeah.
She just didn't know.
Yeah.
It's like easy to hate. It's like with like these kids that go to like the KKK and shit. Like, they just wanted a group.
That's it.
They just wanted a club.
That's all it is.
If they don't even know any black people.
Yeah.
If they met any Jewish or black person, they'd be like, oh, yeah, I was totally wrong about all this.
I have friends back home in North Carolina that have fallen victim to this, where they're just like, well, these people accepted me and they believe this way, so they have a keg on Saturday. I'm going to go drink at Ronnie's house. It's like, okay, but you have to say some weird shit to get in, right?
Yeah,
like,
I could do that.
Yeah. It's like, all right.
What do I got to wear? I'll wear that.
Yeah.
It's kind of
I have to
like,
shave my what?
A lot of things are like that, though.
It really is. Except, I mean, the comedy community is a little different.
But there's cliques?
There are cliques, but you don't have to like be a certain thing to be a comic.
You have to be funny.
You do have to be funny. I guess that's the hard one.
Because people are pretty hard on you if you suck.
That's true.
Like when I sucked, I had no friends in comedy. And then I started doing good. Everyone's like, what's up? I was like, what happened? I thought
where were you last week?
But I just wanted their friendship so much that I was like, yeah, I'm good now.
Yeah. Is that why you called it the Jeff Dye Friendship Podcast?
No, I originally called it the Friendship Podcast because I feel like... you know, you'd want Bert Kreischer on your podcast, right? Because he's very famous, and he's also, it's going to help your podcast because one, Bert's great and funny and has great stories, but also like his fans might watch it because they want to watch Bert. But the problem is Bert's been on so many podcasts that maybe we've heard some of these stories, or maybe he's repeating a thing, you know, where I'm like, my friends have hilarious stories. Like, everyone's got stories. Everyone has like an interesting thing. I'd almost rather hear a guy who operates a roller coaster tell me things than maybe hearing a story that I've already heard from Bert about doing like a roller coaster TV show.
Or The Machine or whatever.
Yeah, and so like I would like to exploit, for lack of a better term, my friends' stories.
Yeah.
Nobody's inviting my buddy Davo on a podcast. You can't help him.
Well, what's Davo doing tomorrow? I'll get him on here.
Well, that's the thing. It's like you can, like, every human on earth has stories, and yet we're really only inviting Mark Normand and Shane Gill. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
it gets a bit incestuous after a while.
Let's get some of my friends on here.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'd have famous people on, but only if they were like my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm consciously trying to talk less about inside comedy this year. Because last season it was all like, how do you write? And what's your favorite club? And like new comic shit. And this year it's just like, fuck it. How many beers do you drink at a baseball game?
Well, I was lecturing Taylor Tomlinson about that in Nebraska a long time. Like, you have to do things and have interests to then write jokes about it.
Right.
If everything's just about jokes and you go, I got to write 8 hours today. Like, what are you going to write about?
Yeah.
Like, go to Disneyland.
Right.
Have a fun day at Disneyland with your friends. Get drunk. Show up drunk. Sneak in booze. Whatever the thing is, and then go write.
Yeah, and tell
about
people
Disneyland.
About it.
You know, like that's like.
And even if you have a tame time at Disneyland, imagine what all the trouble you could have gotten in.
Yeah.
And then make it real.
Even weird things become great. Like, I went to like. In the beginning, when everyone thought Trump was like just this joke that was running for office, that there was no way he would even, there was not a remote chance he'd win. We went to a Trump rally.
Wow.
And it was like, this is so much material here, and no comic would even think about going to it.
Right.
And it just like, I like experiencing anything because then you can talk about it.
Yeah. Because if you just sit at home and write all day, and what are you getting your ideas out of? Like a writing prompt? I have a 5,000 writing prompt book. I've never even touched it.
Yeah. It's like I think like going and doing stuff is where the most fun. I come up with the best material with my buddy Willie Simon. Do you know who he is?
I know Willie.
Yeah. Because me and Willie just will sit there and giggle. We could sit there at a bar and like I did a few nights with him in Hawaii because that's where he's from.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So we did this thing in Maui, and we would wake up whenever we woke up, 10:30, 11 a.m. We would go to this little. Well, we get like coffee because I'm obsessed with coffee. And then we would go to this little, I don't know what they're called, like, they look like gas stations. We would buy like a big Smart Water. We'd pour it out, fill it up with vodka, and then we would just go sit on the beach.
Wow.
We got terrible sunburns. We would go in the water when we get too hot and then come back out. And then we drank the whole thing between the two of us. A huge thing of vodka. We were fucking hammered. But we both had like 5 new bits at the end of the day because we were just making each other laugh.
You had to be writing them down.
Trying to. Yeah. But it's like, so we're just basically doing it based on.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's so nuts.
That's a fun way to write.
Speaking of drinking, and not to pivot, but just getting out of comedy for a second.
Yeah.
When you go to a baseball game for fun, how many beers is fun, and how many beers is not enough, and how many beers is too many beers?
So that's interesting. If we go to a 7 o'clock baseball game, I'll have 4 beers. I'll get some whiskey. It's going to be good. If we go to a day game, I don't really like day drinking.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, it's not fun for me. I get sleepy, and then I'm like, what's going to happen? Like, I got to go do comedy tonight. So, like, for, like, a day game, I'll have, like, a seltzer or something, like a White Claw. And in the big games, they sell big ones. They said they don't sell, like, the normal ones you see at a bar. So, yeah, for day game, I just drink, like, a seltzer, maybe like 1 beer.
I drank seltzers in the sun all day on Sunday, and I felt great on Monday.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
It's, like, refreshing. And
I know.
Yeah. We used to make this thing at the beach. We'd get those big Gatorade coolers.
Yeah.
And fill it to the top with ice. Put a whole tequila bottle in it.
Nice.
And then 2 bottles of Sprite, and then fresh limes and the other opposite of limes, lemons.
Nice.
And then
the opposite of what's the yellow one?
As the day goes, people are just hitting it like a keg, right?
Yeah.
Well, the ice starts to melt, and the booze goes out the bottom first. So everybody thinks they're pouring another drink, but what they're doing is they're hydrating by the end of the
smart,
day.
Yeah.
And then nobody leaves super sloppy drunk.
That's smart. That's a good way to, like, regulate yourself.
Yeah, or purposely regulate 100 people that are at your house. Like, y'all need some water.
It's really funny. Yeah, I've never heard of anyone doing that. How do you drink it? I'm picturing it like in a
red
I know what you're
cup.
saying, like one of those Gatorade things that's
with
like
the little thummy
in the dugout. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I know what you're talking about.
Do you have a move? And this could be anything. Like in basketball or baseball, it's like, this is my move. Like, I do this. Or how you approach guys or girls, or like the way that you drive.
What? Give me an example. Like, what would be someone?
So, like, when I bowl, right?
Okay.
I grew up bowling. I have a move like that I do at the end. Like, I just have this like flair or this like way that I do it.
Handshake straight up.
Yeah, right. Got to touch the ear, right? It's probably a bad idea, a bad example, but we can stew on that because I have another thing.
But I want to think about it. I want to chew on this a bit. So I do have things like little weird things, but I don't know if they're called moves necessarily. They're little Jeff-isms.
Could be, yeah, or a tick or something.
Yeah. So like, I have a rule: we're not allowed to get out of my car if Creedence Clearwater and Revival is playing.
You gotta wait it out.
CCR, you gotta wait for the end of the song. I love CCR. I pick up trash, which I've never said this out loud. If I see garbage on the ground, like a unless it's gross, like if it's like wet or something. But like if I see a piece of garbage on the ground, I pick it up and I put it in the garbage.
Yeah, which is what you're supposed to do.
You see at airports all the time. Yeah. Not my garbage, just any garbage.
Any garbage. Yeah.
And in Asia, I don't remember who told me this, but I was there for my show Better Late Than Never, and one of the Asian customs, you'll notice it's really clean in Japan specifically. And they're like, yeah, we believe it's good luck to pick up garbage if you see it and put in. So it's almost like everyone's kind of in a hurry to come grab the garbage, put it in the thing, because then they get the good luck
on the way to the casino.
But I think it's also such a smart thing to teach your citizens. Oh, it's good luck. You don't have to pay them. But I kind of believe that a little bit, that like I'm doing a good thing, and I always just take trash and I put it in the garbage when I see it.
It feels like a bit of a piss in the ocean in LA because there's just trash everywhere.
I know.
But if it's directly in front of you and you have the ability to do so, then why not?
It also just makes me feel good about myself. Like, look at me. Yeah. All right, a good guy cleaning up garbage.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
You got a future in the waste management.
I hope someone saw that. I hope someone saw it and they go, that guy's a good guy. He cleaned up the garbage.
Which is the perfect intention behind doing a good deed.
Well, that's the thing. It does make you feel better to do a good thing.
Yeah. Regardless of what you feel on the inside, if the outer intention... Like, if you didn't do it just to get seen doing it.
Right.
Even though you want to get seen doing it, it's still okay. It's like if a tree falls in the woods kind of shit.
I think that it's like, I'm trying to think who said it. There's this great, like, expression about, and I'm going to botch it, but it's like, it feels good to make other people happy, right? But are you doing that because it feels good for you to make other people?
Right.
But it's okay. It doesn't matter. It's like that's the beauty of happiness is it doesn't matter whose it is.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like it's good. It's a good thing.
Have you seen the first episode of Bupkis?
No.
Do you know what's his name?
I watch such little television. It's embarrassing. And when I say that, it's not because I think I'm virtuous. I'm always looking at a screen, right? I watch a ton of sports.
Yeah.
I watch a ton of like movies. I watch like a lot of like crap reality television. But when it comes to like scripted things, I don't watch anything. I'm the worst.
Yeah.
So people go, "You seen this?" I go, "No."
It's tough. I mean, there's too much content to be able to stay on top of it all. But I forgot his name. It's the kid everybody loves that was dating Kim Kardashian from SNL.
Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson's new show.
Bupkis.
Okay,
I haven't seen it.
His father is played by Joe Pesci.
Okay.
And he sits him down. Spoiler alert, in case you haven't seen the fucking pilot.
And it's the first episode.
And he goes, "Pete, you're fucking miserable. It's because you only do shit for yourself.
Oh, that's interesting.
You need to go out and make someone else happy, and then that will make you happy."
Yeah.
And of course, that pays off at the end of the episode. I'm not going to spoil that, but little ism.
But it's true.
It is true.
Life, like that's why people. That's not to get too preachy, but that's why people have families. It's why people have partners. It's why people have kids. Mm-hmm. It feels good to you like. Right now it's all about Jeffy, right? Oh, how do I get the first pitch? How do I get the hottest girl? How do I?
Yeah.
But like when you have a kid, you go, "Oh, can my son throw the first pitch?"
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing in school, buddy? Like you know, like you're.
Can I bring my kid?
Yeah. And so like, and that's because the point of life isn't happiness. The point of life is meaning, and meaning isn't enjoyable all the time.
That's right.
So it's like, as things give you meaning, they can be painful or hard or difficult. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you hoping to have a family one day?
Sort of. I was dating a girl that had kids already. My last 2 girlfriends had kids, and that was great because it was like there wasn't none of this pressure of like time. I might have waited a little too long here. I don't like young chicks, and I'm 40. Okay. So if I'm gonna meet a chick that's my age and then we're gonna try to have a baby, like it was kind of convenient for my last 2 girlfriends to already have kids. Yeah, and they were young enough that I could,
That's interesting.
Yeah.
My the last lady that I was dating had he was 11 when we met. He's 13 now. Yeah. I never met him because just never didn't
get to that point.
Yeah, I mean we were great, but it wasn't like after the divorce, his father's already remarried. Okay. But still isn't like. Let's get in there. He's dealing with a bunch of stuff. So, but it is interesting at our age. I guess the question that's
just to piggyback on that. Also, it is nice that both of those women that I dated that had kids, those kids had a dad. Yeah. So I just got to be this extra cool guy that was in their life. Yeah, Uncle Jeff. I didn't need to be dad figure. Both those women had men that they didn't want to be with, but were great men when it came to like parenting and maybe. But they're in the picture.
Yeah. What? How long were you dating before you met the kids?
So for a long time. Yeah. Like as far as
it's not like third date. Come on over, meet the kids. No, it's delicate.
Yeah. Because also, who knows? It's the way people date now. You know, he's gonna be like, who was that one guy? Yeah. Yeah.
That guy that bought me that starter jacket.
I don't get it. Why isn't he here?
Right. It can.
He seemed pretty cool.
Right. I saw him on television.
She's got to explain, like, well, he's kind of a dickhead, and
See, that's where the lines blur for me because I began to believe my lies. Okay. I woke up one morning. You know how you have very, very vivid dreams and you wake up and you're like, that shit's true. Yeah. I woke up one morning. I had in high school, I think my senior year, I had a 93 Chevy Beretta, 89 Chevy Beretta. I woke up and I believed that I also had a matching brand new Porsche and Ferrari. And in the shower, I'm like, what am I going to drive to school today? And I didn't realize that I didn't even have 3 sets of keys. I picked up my keys. I walk out the door to the house.
Someone stole my cars.
And I'm like, where's my Porsche and my Ferrari? I said it out loud.
You're like that Tim Robinson sketch.
Yeah. And not only did I not
doubles of the Beretta.
Not only did I not have a Porsche and a Ferrari, I was grounded from driving my car to school. I had to walk.
Why?
Because I lived a mile from school, so if I got grounded, they're like, you can't drive your car this week.
Yeah, you didn't even have access to that one at the time.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So, I mean, and there's stories that I tell now, and I feel like, and I don't know Bert very well, but I feel like Bert has the same mentality where if you remember a story and it's just more exciting to tell it a little different.
Oh yeah.
I'm totally guilty.
My buddy Brant does that all the time.
I spice up my past.
That part didn't happen.
Yeah,
but it's for the story.
That's why I don't like telling stories around my friends, and I don't want my friends to come to my comedy shows at all.
Well, I think on stage it's a little different, and actually maybe not. I just used to lie just latently. And I was doing it because I wanted people to like me, or I wanted like them to not be like, so like, I'll give you a great example of what I used to do. The kind of lies that would drive my girlfriend crazy. She'd be like, I don't do it anymore. But she would be like, where are you? And I was like, oh, I'm almost there. I'm on the freeway right now. Mm-hmm. But I was like getting up. I didn't even got dressed. But I just like, to not piss her off, to look like, like to be whatever, instead of just being honest, like, hey, I overslept, I'm on my way, I'll be there as quick as I can, I'm getting ready. But then she'll be like, well, you said you were on the freeway. I was like, well, it's traffic, like, I just lie.
Another lie.
It's just so stupid. Dumb lies. Those are dumb things to lie about.
I have to prep the women that I date about time, because being in the film business for so long, I was the one that was in charge of the schedule. So I'll schedule out a day down to the minute for 12 hours. But so if a girl goes, I'll be there in 5 minutes,
I need it to be 5.
It has to be 5 minutes.
Yeah,
if
smart.
it's 6 minutes, I'm worried about you. Where are you going? If you say, I'll be there in a little bit, I don't know what a little bit is.
Right.
So just never say specific times
good.
to me.
You're on the good side of that.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say you prep them like, I'm pretty loosey-goosey.
Oh, I'll be late all day long. It's not fair. It's totally hypocritical. But if you're talking,
I said a little bit.
Yeah.
When it's you.
Right. I can do whatever I want.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
I'm good about time now, and I'm really great about honesty, and it's made my life more complicated, but in an okay way that I'm totally fine with.
There's just less shit to keep track of.
And also, it lets people know, like, I can count on Jeff, like that, like.
Yeah.
So, like, a good example is, like, if you show me something you made, right, and you say, hey, what'd you think? I go, okay. You're going to go, Jesus, that kind of hurt my feelings. Jeff just said it was just okay. Or I'll even be like, I thought it was terrible. Now, that's a short-term conflict, because now you're going to be like, well, fuck Jeff. Like, you're reading my text to your girl or something, like, oh, that's rude. He just said that he didn't like it and I'd be like, yeah, you asked, and I don't think it was good. I would change this or whatever. But then the next time you do something, you might go, I'm going to send this to Jeff because I know he'll be honest.
Exactly.
It's a reliable measurement of truth. Whereas like all your friends go, it's hilarious, it's great, and you're sitting there going, why isn't this more successful? It's like I'm fine with that. I'm fine with.
Yeah. I started asking people in two scenarios. Like if someone comes to me to vent, I'm like, do you want support?
Oh yeah.
You want a shoulder? Or I don't forgot the other thing.
Or like advice.
Yeah. And it's the same thing. People bring me creative stuff all the time. What do you think about this? Just like you. And I'm like, do you want a pat on the back or do you want notes? Like, do you want notes like I'm the studio or I'm the executive?
100%.
Because they're like, and a lot of times they're like, I just want to know. I just want you to see it. And I'm like, okay. Because if you want notes, there'll be time code. I will take the time and I will write down exactly what I think.
I've never once told a comic a good set if I didn't like it. Like, you know how we just say good set to each other?
Yeah.
Good set. Never done it. And I've seen people notice me not do it. Right. You know, they get off stage and I thought it was terrible, and the person in front of me, because we kind of hang in the back or whatever, and they'll be like, "Good set," and then I'll just go, like I won't give them good set because I don't believe it. That's like, I think that we in the old days I used to be like, be nice. That's what's important to the world. Be kind. I value kindness, and I still do. But now it's like, no, just be honest. I think it's better than being nice. Yeah.
I wonder what the best way to say you gave it your best shot. After somebody gets off set or off stage without saying, well, you know you ate shit, right? Like.
Well, yeah, I don't think you have to be that.
Right. There's got to be a middle ground.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think just saying nothing, or just, I mean, if they want to talk about it, be like, yeah, they were tough. A crowd didn't like it. Or a crowd was. Yeah. I think acknowledging that truth is smart.
Yeah. I think that thing, and I guess we're going to dive into comedy for just a little bit, but this is something that I want to share with a ton of comics because before getting into comedy, I was photographing.
I like that better.
Yeah, photographizing.
That sounds cool.
Comedy. And I would be always in the back of the room. Mm-hmm. And I would watch, I think I went to 400 shows during Pandy.
Jeez.
And then I'd go in the green room and everybody's, this fucking crowd. The laughs that you hear on stage, now that I'm getting on stage, the laughs that you hear on stage and the laughs that I hear in the back of the room are completely different.
Oh, yeah.
So the bomb that you feel or what you think is a bomb or the crowd sucks or whatever, I'm amongst the crowd going, these guys are eating it up.
Yeah.
And I've seen And it tends to be the same people every time that are like, fuck that crowd. Or I think the people that do well don't get off stage and they're like, I killed it.
Right. So, not anymore. Well, I do, but I'm not. So when, like, let's say a comic goes on stage and they're killing, I still won't say good set necessarily. It's based on me liking that material. So I know there's been plenty of times that I've gone up to a comic and go, hey, that fuck was awesome. Fuck these people. You don't need their laughs to know that those jokes are good.
Yeah.
And I'm coming here to tell you that was great.
Right. And they value that.
Yeah, because they're going, oh, thank you. I thought I ate it. Just go, fuck them. Like that you know, 12 people or whatever, or maybe a bunch of grumpy. You know, the energy is tough night to night, show to show. But I'm always measuring it based on, because even terrible comics can get big laughs.
I'm one of them.
No, you're not. But I mean, there's been times, and they're getting off looking around going, who's going to pat me on the back? And I go, not me. Not if I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. I have a lot more sets to put in before I'll be able to figure out the difference. But I got a weird start because people started letting me do time on the road.
Yeah.
At theaters.
And those are very easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For 1,500 people, it's like, I got a wet cat at home. They're like, ha, 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 ha. He's got
the wet cat guy.
But like midnight with 12 people are fucking the hardest laughs to get are at an open mic where you're supposed to be like supportive and like growing together. People are just like. You
start at the hardest part. Not you, but most comics in this industry, you start at the toughest level of difficulty. Mm-hmm. Like those are the hardest rooms to get laughs. And that's how you start. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Bo Burnham was a superstar before he ever got on stage because he's a YouTube kid who would just make these funny songs and videos on his MySpace or YouTube. I don't even know what platform he was using. Mm-hmm. And so he never did the open mics, and he never had shit rooms. He never had he wouldn't even know how to find a shit room.
Yeah.
Because they would just go, Bo Burnham's here, and it would pack out. Now, I was at the Haha Comedy Cafe on a Sunday like a few months ago. Mm-hmm. There's no one in the crowd, and the people that are in the crowd are like sat way far apart from each other. Everyone's eating it. Also, no disrespect to anyone that can timestamp this, the comics weren't great, and me and Willie Simon were probably the better among all the comics that were waiting to go on, and even we had average at best sets.
Yeah.
Bo Burnham was one of the people in the crowd,
just sitting there watching
and just drinking. And then he gets up to come pay his bill or try to find a server because there's like, since no one was there's only one server barely coming around.
Yeah.
And I go, Bo? And he goes, what's up, man? Hey. And I'm like, what are you doing here? He goes, I just like watching comedy in this environment, and I like watching comics have to figure out what they're going to do in this environment. And that's when I realized he's never had it. He craves this kind of like
right. And he could have it. He could try it.
Yeah. But they would immediately go, that's Bo Burnham. Mm-hmm. Even those 12 would have perked up and listened and went, because he can't not be Bo Burnham.
It's true. But even Seinfeld says that only buys you 5 minutes.
Yeah, and that documentary that everyone likes to quote from 20 years ago.
Orny Adams.
Yeah, well, the thing is that like Jerry kills.
Yeah.
Even Jerry riffing is Jerry Seinfeld riffing.
It's true.
He's the Jordan of our business. Or he's more of the Hulk Hogan of our business.
Okay, brother. That's funny.
Because with Hulk Hogan, he's not the greatest wrestler, and he's not even the most popular, but he's the guy you think of when you think of wrestling.
That's true. He's the face of wrestling.
Hogan. Yeah. With sports, it's too easy to measure. Or, sorry, it's like we can measure sports better than we can measure entertainment and wrestling.
All we have is ticket sales and album sales and like...
Yeah. But like Jordan is undoubtedly statistically like incredible. Whereas like Hulk Hogan, it's fake. Like they let him be the champ, and he's whatever. And same with like... comedy.
But if you had to be any wrestler, you'd definitely be Hulk Hogan.
I'd be The Rock, or Stone Cold Steve Austin, or
The Rock. I keep forgetting he was a wrestler.
No, well, his career's been insane.
It has been insane. I worked with him on Jumanji too.
Was he nice?
He was very nice.
I've heard why wouldn't he? He's got a great life.
I mean, he is the nicest.
He did it good. He did his life good.
If he's mean to anyone, it's got to be behind closed doors when nobody's watching.
I just don't think he'd have a reason to be mean to someone.
You might be able to help me settle this bet. I have a running bet with the producer of this show who's not here that The Rock is more famous than LeBron. And my argument is based solely off of Instagram numbers. The Rock has almost 300 million Instagram followers. what's his name? I forgot. Is 50, 60 million. LeBron, right?
Yeah, I'd go with that.
He just thinks that there's more international fans of LeBron than there are of The Rock. And I'm like, The Rock makes $1 million international movies.
And also, it's American basketball.
Yeah.
We think that's huge.
Right.
Because
apparently it's big in China, though, isn't it?
China. But, like, I mean, let's talk about when I was in Russia, no one was quoting, or nobody's talking about. I guess it's getting more international. Mm-hmm. No, I think The Rock has to be more famous.
Thank you. That's all I needed. Thanks for watching, everybody.
No, I think that you're right.
I think so. But, you know, there's no convincing him. So even if I'm like, dude, watch this clip of Jeff Dye saying I was right, he's going to be like, I don't care.
No, he's right. You have to, whatever the bet is, you have to pay him. Yeah. No, I will say, like, because I traveled with Terry Bradshaw.
Right, on your show.
Better Late Than Never.
Yes.
Yeah, and no one knew who he was. And it's because American football is, and it's not a thing anywhere else.
I had dinner next to him in Vegas one night.
Oh yeah, did you say hi to him? He's very approachable.
He is, but he had like a bunch of people that looked like him. But it was literally like, if I turned around and you were him, like that's how close we were.
Nice. You should have said hi. He's one of the greatest dudes in the world.
Yeah.
And easily one of the most approachable, famous people I've ever known.
Yeah.
He gives everyone their time. Like, he's, oh, hey, bud, what can I get you?
I mean, that seems like the best part of being famous.
The best people I've ever worked with, Terry Crews, Terry Bradshaw, LL Cool J.
Yeah.
Chrissy Teigen.
Okay.
We couldn't be more opposite politically, me and Chrissy Teigen, but like she's just a fun chick in real life. Like in real life, she's just cool. All those people couldn't have been more generous with their time, polite. I work with Greg Gutfeld, right?
Okay.
Greg Gutfeld's one of the busiest dudes in the world, and he has no time to even give you a picture. But he's still nice about it and professional, and like he's still cool.
How do we know Greg? What's he from?
He has his own show called Gutfeld.
Okay.
This is the #1 watched late night television show.
Really?
It gets like triple the numbers of The Tonight Show and triple the numbers of Jimmy Kimmel.
Is it on major?
It's on Fox.
It's on Fox.
Yeah, he's the late night host.
Wow.
The most popular.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's what I love too about entertainment.
Yeah.
Is like everyone in the world could know about something that's super popular and they're like, I've just been under a rock.
That's what just happened is the exact reason that I wanted to open for Donald Trump at Trump rallies. Is because none of my lefty friends would even know it's happening.
Yeah.
They'd have no idea.
Right.
They'd be like, where have you been for a few weeks? I was like, I was in Florida, and then I was in Texas, then I was in Maine. What were you doing there? Oh, I was making $100,000 a night doing stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even know.
Speaking of $100,000 a night.
It's so Gutfeld's on Fox News.
Right.
And so that's why it gets such great ratings, is because every late night talk show host is so left leaning, or just not political at all, like Fallon.
Right.
That there isn't a single late night host who will be making jokes that are conservative, or just Republican, straight up. So
wow.
Because of that, he gets the whole other half of the country, whereas half of the country is sharing Seth Meyers,
right?
And
They're
Jimmy
splitting
Kimmel,
the pie.
Yeah, and then the people that don't want to hear about it at all watch Jimmy Fallon, and that's a small percentage.
Interesting.
There's a lot of coin on that other side.
There is. I might be switching my political beliefs.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah. Well, I haven't changed any of my political beliefs, and that's what's fun about going on there is they just let me do whatever I want.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that I grew up super conservative, right? But I've been in California long enough to like assimilate some of the liberal, social issues.
I'm a 2001 Democrat,
okay,
which is now a Republican.
Right.
I've changed none of my views.
Yeah, I just don't want the government to tell me what to do in any situation.
Sure.
I'm kind of a libertarian.
Yeah, I don't know much about libertarians. I don't really know.
As far as I don't know either.
Yeah.
But I think they're kind of middle of the road. Small government. Don't tell me what to do. Stay out of my bedroom in my life. But just take enough taxes to defend the country.
Yeah, I think that's Republican also now.
But the Republicans want to tell us what to do with our bodies, which I don't really think I should have a say in because I'm a man. But I don't know. I've had hour-long arguments with my super Christian conservative mother about.
Oh, really? That's cool that you guys can talk about it.
Well, we until recently. The only time I've ever been able to actually have a conversation with her is when I take it from the freedom angle.
Okay.
Because killing babies is killing babies, and there's absolutely no argument against that.
Sure.
But if you got to use freedom back against them, if you're defending abortion, you have to use freedom because they have nothing else to say.
I find the abortion subject fascinating because I don't know. I don't even know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I know it's convenient, to do that, to not have to like raise a kid with someone that you weren't planning on making a child with. But then also it's like, then I've got to question my own, like, well, then maybe you shouldn't be having sex with someone you don't want to. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not responsible enough to do that.
Right.
And so it's like I even get in a little tangled web. I say, well, it's her body. She should be able to choose. But like, what, should she be able to do heroin? It's her body.
Right. It does. I mean, there's no clear-cut answer.
She's like, I don't want to wear a seatbelt. Fuck you. It's my body. It's my choice.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, what if she's pregnant and drinking alcohol? You're like at a bar. You're going to go, you can't do that. You'd be like, it's not even a baby. It's like a cluster of cells. Let me drink. And you go, ugh. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't know. Be a law. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so many things I don't know. That's the real answer to most political things. I don't know.
Yeah. And
I just don't know.
It just feels like the only people who are interested in sorting out political issues are just 95 years old.
Yeah. If you saw a pregnant lady like smoking heroin, you'd probably go, what the fuck? And you go, why do you care? It's my body.
Yeah, I don't know if I would interject.
I probably wouldn't interject with anyone smoking heroin. Yeah, but I just meant like metaphorically.
Earlier today, I saw a pregnant lady smoking heroin. Like, I would probably make it a joke.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what we do with everything.
Yeah.
But I just, in my mind, it's like I like to ask ourselves what we really think about things. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm even because the truth is I don't know. And you could do whatever you want, I guess. I just don't. I don't know. I call it double clicking. So like, for example.
Oh, interesting.
Like, it's easy to go trans women or women, right? That's so easy. It makes my life easier. Mm-hmm. No one fucks with me. Everyone's nice to me because Jeff said the thing we wanted him to say. Mm-hmm. But like, let's say your brother comes home on Thanksgiving with clearly a biological male who's now transitioned into a woman. He's got the lipstick, the dress, still has a beard or whatever. But like, you can tell that it was a biological male that's transitioned into a woman. And you serve Thanksgiving, you guys break bread, you drink, you get to know his new girlfriend. When they leave, you're not going to gossip about that with the rest of your family? You're telling me that you just blanketly go trans women or women, and there's no debate, and there's no questioning, there's no asking. You're not going to sit there with your mom and dad and be like, wait, is your son, my brother, like blowing that guy and thinking that's a woman?
Well, let me ask you this in retort.
Yeah.
Could you not say the same thing if they had any other physical, outside the norm physicality, right? If they were a little larger than normal, or if they had a mole on their face, or if they were missing a leg.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So
all of it.
Are we not just pointing out what we noticed about our cousin's partner?
Yeah.
Like, does it have to be a trans issue, or is it just a thing that is out of the norm?
No, I'm saying a trans issue is exactly like any of those other things.
Right.
Right.
So we agree.
Yeah.
Like if you had a yellow shirt on for some reason.
Yeah.
When you left, I would call my producer and be like,
"The fuck was that shirt?
Jeff, where you got a yellow shirt, bro? It's so gross."
And I'd say you're right to do that.
Yeah.
And not even you're right. You're correct. Mm-hmm. It makes it's total natural human behavior. Mm-hmm. Whereas the same thing, I'm gonna be like, I don't think that was a girl. But to say that is very problematic nowadays.
It is very problematic.
And insensitive and transphobic and allegedly somehow mysteriously causing them to be killed in the streets or whatever. Mm-hmm. So like, I'm just being honest the same way I would be about the yellow shirt. Like, that was a fucking guy here that's now dating my brother. But it's not a big deal. I'm not mad at him, and I don't think they shouldn't. I don't think anyone should take away their rights. I'm just being honest with myself, like that's a guy who believes he's a lady.
Do you have a problem using whatever pronouns people ask you to use?
I've always have, yeah. I think I use the pronouns for however they're presenting, for sure. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I wish every argument started about trans people like, let me just start by saying I love you, and that like I don't want anyone to hurt you, and I don't want you to be denied any rights. Let's start there.
Right.
I love you. You're just like me, and I'd fight for you, and I'd defend you, and I'd be your buddy, and I'd drink with you, but we just believe different things. That's okay.
Yeah.
I don't need you to affirm my religion. We can get along.
Well, there's also the angle of, I don't even want to call it an angle, but there is, and this is probably on the responsibility of the straight male, but I have never been educated about what happens to people who change their gender or how that affects the role that it plays in their relationship. Like I know absolutely little or nothing about like the reasons behind why someone would do it, the sexual activity.
I think it's also just none of my business.
It is. But
and also, if they just want me to call them ma'am or Mrs. or he or she or what, I'm totally fine doing that.
I've gotten it wrong.
Because I just want to get along and I also love you. So that's another reason. Now, that being said, what if I said to them, like, hey, I believe Jesus is God. He came to earth 2,000 years ago and he died for our sins and he was crucified and 3 days later he came back to life. He rose from the dead to prove that he was God. And I believe that. And then they'd be like, okay, I don't. And I'd be like, okay. I wouldn't go, you're Christian phobic and like you're denying. We just believe different things. And you still want me to live and operate in society. You don't think my rights should be taken away. You don't think that I shouldn't be able to whatever. Same way that I just don't believe that you can be born in the wrong body. I also don't believe you can be two spirits or questioning your gender or these, and that's okay. You don't need me to believe it.
Right.
I love you, and that's okay. But we just believe different things.
Right.
It's
so
okay.
Whether or not you believe it plays no bearing on their life choices.
Right. And I don't need to. It doesn't matter if I affirm it or not. We can still just get lunch and hang out.
Right.
And I'll be polite. I'll definitely be polite with people's pronouns if it seems important to them, and that's okay. It's not hard for me to do. I also should be able to screw up sometimes on accident. Every once in a while, I go, oh shit, I didn't mean that. Sorry, I meant he or whatever.
Yeah, it's like asking a fat lady if she's pregnant.
Right.
Sometimes you get it wrong.
Yep. And also, it's just polite, and I'm polite and agreeable, and also but I'm also not gonna. If someone asked me, do I believe trans women are women, I'd just be like, no. But that doesn't change that I don't think they should be treated poorly.
Right.
I think that's pretty reasonable.
And I think that's the gap where the far left takes it. Not that I'm identifying as the far left or saying anything different about the far left, but there's that massive gap of like, you're either in it and you want to be one of us, or I'm not making my point here, but I'm trying to agree with
most people. It's just easier for them to go, yes, whatever. Right. Because that's why I brought up the double clicking thing about like if your brother was, because I think that when we're just really being honest with ourselves, it gets more interesting. It's like easy to say like I believe that a trans woman is. It's easier to say the thing than what you really think. So like for example, like I'm fine with abortion. But I think that there should be a happy medium, there should be like a third party or something where you say, okay, but like once 6 months, like then maybe don't abort that baby.
Right. That's the hard part is everybody's trying to find the line.
Find a time.
Yeah.
So I'm saying go ahead, have plan B, have abortions, do whatever. But I'm saying once it gets to a certain, isn't it kind of reasonable to say maybe don't abort an 8-month-old baby? I think almost most people would agree with that.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to talk about the reasonable take. They want to go, right? So like guns, fine, love them. I have a bunch. Do we need machine guns or assault rifles or the big ones? No. So I think that's a reasonable place to go, hey, women should have handguns, protect themselves. The people should have guns to protect their house. People should have guns to shoot deers. Maybe we don't need these giant ones.
Have you thought about running for president?
I'm just saying like we could all reasonably meet on every issue.
Do you think the biggest divide amongst us is the media that we're consuming though?
Yeah, social media is huge.
Social media, but like CNN, Fox, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
Like our main source of information has a narrative behind it now.
That's a show we should make. You get 2 conservatives and 2 Democrats, and every morning they do what like The View does, except there's an actual other side to the opinion. Fox would never touch that.
No.
They're not going to put the other side's
that could only live on the internet.
On Fox, and The View's never going to put a conservative person on their panel unless everyone just gets to dunk on them, which is what they do with like Melissa, Matt Hasselbeck's wife?
The blonde lady?
Yeah, and she quit the show pretty quick, and then also like she even she started being like really tepid about even being honest after a while because she was like, they're just going to jump on me.
Right.
So it's like I think that'd be a more interesting late night show because you would find that we have way more in common than we don't.
Yeah, you should call it the middle ground.
That'd be great.
Yeah, dude, that would be awesome.
Be a great show.
And I think it's not even 2 and 2, right?
Yeah.
I think it's 2, and like 2 people in the middle.
But the middle's tricky.
Well, some episodes they go. I mean, you got to win my argument, right?
Okay, so 2, and then indifferent.
Right.
or a host,
right?
Or just like dumb people that have no idea about.
Dumb would be great.
Yeah, because no one's really middle. I have a theory about that.
Oh, really?
No one's in the middle.
I feel like I'm a little middle.
That means you have some here and some here.
Oh, I'm straddling the middle.
No, you have some views that are conservative. You have some views that are liberal, and that makes you a reasonable person. But the middle would just be, like I said, like it'd be kind of indifference. It'd be almost
like I don't care what happens.
Or you just don't really dabble in those subjects because why would you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I only dabble in the subjects because I think it's interesting and also like comedically it's been valuable to like just like really check what people claim they believe. It's fun.
Remind me to tell you the funniest joke that I have heard in a very long time. I don't want to blow it on camera for the comedian that told it, but it's politically based.
Someone shared a TikTok reel with me of the greatest joke ever written, as Ricky Gervais shares with Jerry Seinfeld the greatest joke that he thinks has ever been written.
Oh, I think I've seen this. Should I put a clip in right here?
It's I'll just tell it.
Okay.
If I can remember it well. So a Holocaust survivor dies.
Okay.
And goes to heaven. And he says to God, you want to hear a Holocaust joke? And God's like, okay. And so he tells him this Holocaust joke. And God says to the Holocaust survivor, like, that's terrible. There is nothing funny about the Holocaust. And the Holocaust survivor goes, I guess you had to be there. Which is great because the old "you guess you had to be there" line, but it's also great because he's saying to God's face, "You weren't there."
Right? Yeah.
And if you were there, what happened?
Right. Where? Yeah. Oh
Why
my God.
didn't you do something about it? Like it's and all. Yeah, it's just it's so layered, beautifully of like a gotcha to God.
Yeah, I mean. I have to stew on that one for a little bit because all it does is make me feel dumb about the silly jokes that I write.
No, not at all.
I would have never.
It's fun.
Do you ever accidentally write jokes that are like multiple levels deep? Or do you think about the multiple levels that you could put in them?
I don't think any of my jokes have multiple levels, really.
Okay.
Just in general. I'm not writing. It's not that I'm not writing. I'm not writing smart stuff, but I do think I think different than most people, and that's why I make a good comic. Have you ever heard of the book David and Goliath by Malcolm Gladwell? Mm-hmm. He talks about like how dyslexic people. I had dyslexia growing up. I think I barely rears its head anymore because I just used it as an excuse for so long in my life that I probably had a pretty mild case of dyslexia that I used as an excuse to be like, I can't read that, and I just never worked on it. Mm-hmm. But that being said, when your brain doesn't think A, B, C equals, 1, 2, 3 equals, it has to find a different route. So like my mind works in a different route to get to this, to get to these things.
Yeah.
And because most people's brains are working A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3, they find the way I got there to be humorous. Like, oh, that's funny. What a funny way to think of that.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's just the way my brain naturally thinks of it. And it sounds weird to you. So it's making you laugh. So it works. But I remember multiple times in school, like I would say something to my science teacher sincerely. And then everyone would laugh. And then I'd look around like, yeah, I was trying to be funny. Like, because I was like, I wasn't. Yeah. It was just me being dumb.
Right.
And everyone thought it was hilarious. And I was like, well, I guess I am the class clown even when I'm trying to be serious.
Yeah, that's tough in high school when you're like, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. I was like, oh, God, I'm fucking so dumb I'm making people laugh.
Because you do have like really incredible like left turns or like misdirections as we call them.
Thank you.
I think they're very funny.
Thanks.
And I also think it's smart that you mix it up and do like a full print with a picture.
Oh, yeah.
In your social media.
Yeah.
I think more people should be doing that.
I'm trying to, so what I always try to think is, like I'm doing this bit right now where I'm like, has anyone asked these drag queens if they want to dance for children?
Who's paying them? Yeah.
I know a shit gig when I hear it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like if my boss was like, hey, you're on in 10 minutes. We've got 200 kids out there. I'd be like, what the fuck?
Right, yeah.
What do you mean there's kids out there?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's
interesting.
That's happening right now. There's probably some drag queen that going, hey, Daisy Pop, you're on in 15 minutes. We have 50 kids out there. He's going, what? What? Yeah. I didn't get all dolled up and push my wiener back for children.
Right.
I was going to lip sync to Pop My Pussy. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And so it's that joke's working in my act because it's a fun way to talk about a really controversial subject.
Right.
as opposed to just being like, this is wrong. That's not a bit. If I get up there and just say that kids shouldn't be watching drag shows, like now it's just an opinion that makes everyone uncomfortable.
Yeah.
As opposed to like me finding a fun way to talk about the thing that I'm thinking about.
Yeah. My mom believes that they're teaching drag in school.
Teaching it?
All of the schools. Not just Florida or wherever, but like it's fully written into all the curriculum.
Teaching them, yeah.
Like, fuck science. They're teaching drag now.
It is hilarious.
There's no talking her out of that one. I have a couple of speed round questions for you.
Dude.
Most of them have to do with food.
Nice. Are you a big foodie?
I'm not, but I'm bringing back a segment I like to call In and Out or Five Guys.
Okay.
Which is your preference?
In and Out.
Okay.
And I don't say that with much passion because neither one of those really get me too excited.
Are you a burger guy at all?
I love burgers.
What's your favorite burger
Best
spot?
burger I've ever had, ELE Burger, which means everybody love everybody. And they're a pop-up. You got to kind of hunt them around. You got to see where they're going to pop up.
Really?
And they're in San Diego.
Truck?
Great group of guys. Yeah, they have a truck, but then they kind of like set up a tent and then you kind of... Really great guys that run the company. Really, really good burgers. And I would still be their friends and be honest that they're not good burgers if that was the case. They're genuinely the best burger I've had, and they are good guys.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's not related. But In-N-Out just takes so long.
Right. Because of the lines.
Yeah. It's just too... when I think of it, I think of a headache of having to wait for it.
I think that they
link the wait with the burger.
Yes, I do too. And it's hard for me to believe that every single In-N-Out has a wait at all times.
Yeah.
So I believe they hire 15 to 20 people that just sit in their cars and back the
create
lineup.
A buzz. Mm-hmm. That's funny. No, there's one right by my house, and every time I drive by, I go, "Who would do that?" Here's the thing: if it was empty and I could just get In-N-Out in like what normally would take a McDonald's drive-through, I'd probably eat it, weekly.
Yeah.
But it's just I'm not sitting there for 45 minutes.
No, it's
to
funny.
Get fast food.
That's their name. That you're supposed to be able to just
In and out in an hour. That's what it should be called.
In an hour.
That's what it should be called. And then Five Guys I've only had once ever, and there was just too much shit on my burger, so it was like wet.
Oh, I'm a big fan of putting the whole salad on it. But I like to cut it in half.
Okay.
I mean, the more fruits and vegetables you can get on a burger.
Put a lot of shit on it.
Whatever you want.
Yeah, I was trying to put my hands in there. I'm going, I don't know how to eat this.
I forgot what airport it was. Chicago, maybe. I don't know. There was an In-N-Out with that. They put an egg on it for breakfast.
Oh no, Five Guys.
Five Guys, sorry.
Yeah. They put an egg on it. That's good.
And with sausage instead of burger.
The Royal Burger, as we call that at Red Robin.
Oh, Red Robin.
I used to work at Red Robin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever thought about going back?
I love waiting tables, if I'm honest.
Do you really?
I was really good at it.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Interesting. If you had to, if the whole shit hit the fan right now and you had to go wait tables, would you go back to Red Robin or you do fine dining?
Oh no, I would do like a fast turn and burn.
Really?
I made more money at Red Robin than I did any other restaurant job.
Just because they're...
Yeah, you can have like multiple tables. Mm-hmm. Like with fine dining, they're going to sit there and talk. You got to crumb the table. It isn't really popular to be crass or jokey with the table. You're supposed to be more like servant proper. Mm-hmm. Whereas like Red Robin, I would literally read the table like a comic reads a room and be like, oh, they like this. They like the jokes, or they want me to be edgy, or they want me to be...
Yeah.
And then you could also tell when they don't. You're like, okay, they just want their food. They want to be left the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Or like sometimes a guy is quiet. I make him look cool for his date. Sometimes I got to flirt with the girl a little. Like you try to read that all out. Mm-hmm. And I liked that part of it. Every table was a different show.
I only waited tables for 3 weeks at an Applebee's, and it wasn't for me.
Yeah. I think most people, it's not for everyone.
No, I think I would be great at it now.
Oh, okay.
Because I like people now. I just didn't like people when I was 19.
Oh, that's true.
I've become a different person.
A better person.
Perhaps.
Yeah, you like people. That's a great thing to hear. People think it's cool to not like people. I'm not a people person. Like, well,
that's a here thing. You go back home.
The world's full of people.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
I am still the guy that'll say hello when you walk down the sidewalk.
Me too.
Not to everybody if it's a busy street. If I go to New York, it's not like, hello, 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 hello. That'd be too much. But in LA, nobody walks in LA, so if you see someone.
Smile. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I think that's a dying thing.
It is. I say it to homeless people too.
Yeah.
There's a guy named Tim that comes and takes all the bottles out of our trash can at my apartment complex.
Yeah.
I throw my trash out on Tuesday mornings when he's digging through, and I go, hello, Tim. Good morning. How's it going?
No, that's good.
And we strike up a conversation every Tuesday.
You know, those small things like that are very meaningful to people.
Yeah, it can't be easy for him to be having a conversation with someone.
Forget Tim.
Yeah.
In general.
Oh.
Loneliness is a disease far worse than cancer or anything else.
Yeah.
There are people that you have no idea what they're going through. By just being nice to them, it's meaningful. And people like forget that.
Yeah.
It's so, you know what I mean? Like the fucking guy I just saw at the Coffee Bean before we started recording, invisible to women. If you showed a photo of that guy to even a unattractive woman, and be like, "Would you ever date this guy?" They'd be like, "Fuck no!" Like it's so socially acceptable. You know, we call it homeless guys invisible, the invisible people. Just most men are invisible to the opposite sex, and they're dealing with that all day.
Yeah.
So just by smiling, "Hey, good morning, I love you." Like it goes so far.
Yeah.
Think about incels.
I don't really know a whole lot about incels.
Well, everyone thinks it's okay to just trash on them. These people are so isolated and so lonely that they think it's a good idea to go shoot up a school. Those are people that need help.
Right.
They need love. They need a friend. They need something. They don't need everyone dunking on them and using like the term incel, like, fucking one of these little incels. It's like, maybe be nice. Maybe you could be kind to them.
Yeah.
But like that smile, that like you have no idea how valuable that is. Yeah.
I never thought about it.
Yeah, it's a good thing to do.
Just grew up in a neighborhood where everybody did that.
Yeah, in
North Carolina.
Yeah. What age were you moved? So you said you.
I was 26 when I moved here.
And then but what age were you when you left New York?
3.
Okay, so you don't have many memories there.
No, I have 1.
A cat or something.
Yeah. It's weird. I remember falling down because I got a rock in my knee because I have a scar on my knee. I remember falling in New York and go to the hospital in North Carolina. Apparently, I fell in North Carolina. It's a weird story, but
but that's your memory.
That's how I remember it.
It's funny that I think. So I probably have like 3 memories from my first house where I grew up at, like from age 0 to 3, and I'm pretty sure most of those memories, my parents just told me the story so many times that I think I remember it. Because like I do remember some things for sure, but then I'll find myself telling a story. I'm like, I don't even know if it's just my mom and dad's story that I've heard a billion times.
Yeah, I have a memory of the inside of the house that I was like born in or whatever, but I never saw it as an adult.
Isn't that interesting? This is an old idea, and I'm being playful more than being serious. But it's like, I used to ask people like this is my old view on abortion. I was like, you could have killed me at 2. Wouldn't have remembered. I don't remember anything.
I don't remember.
If my first memory, I think I was like 3 something, 3.5, which means if you'd have murdered me at 2, wouldn't have mattered.
Do you still have your Jeep?
Oh, I do, and it's for sale.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
I too used to have a Jeep.
Oh, nice.
Are you a spa guy? Do you like to go to the spa?
I treat my gym like a spa almost every single day because Equinox is very expensive. So sometimes I'll just go there just to go steam.
Oh.
I'll just sit in the steam room. I might do that actually after this. It's nice to do that. And then I also get pedicures once every couple weeks because I don't like dealing with my own toenails.
Interesting.
And it's cheap and they just give you a foot rub. It's nice.
I'm a huge spa guy, but I only do it in Vegas for some reason.
Interesting.
I love the steam and then the cold plunge and the steam. If there was a gym near me that had it, I'd probably sign up for it. If you had to switch careers and you could only be one of the following 2 things, would you be a cop or a firefighter?
God. Cop, I guess.
Okay.
I like cops. I respect cops. I think they have one of the hardest jobs in the world.
Yeah.
Fire department is a lot of strength that I would feel fatigued in. Oh, maybe firefighter, actually.
Firefighters
just
have
hanging
a calendar.
with your boys.
Yeah.
Until something happens.
And eating chili.
Yeah, and then when something happens, you got to go.
Boom.
But, yeah, definitely. You're right. Definitely firefighter. Who do I respect more? Cops.
Uh-huh.
What would I rather be? Firefighter.
Right.
Because I'm a coward.
I don't know. I think firefighters are heroes too.
They are, but they're not going into someone's worst day ever.
Right.
They get to be the heroes.
All day long. Yeah.
Anytime you had to call the cops, something bad was happening.
That's true.
So you're constantly going into someone's worst day of their life every 15 minutes. You're always dealing with homeless people. You're always dealing with like someone that hit a lady and then she's like, I don't want to press charges. I live here. Like, it's just like, it's so complicated.
And not every fire is a bad fire.
Yeah, and they do a lot of like helping.
Yeah.
You know, a kid got hit by a car and you need to go give him CPR and get him to the place.
Cat in a tree.
Yeah, Yeah, those ones. Those are the good ones.
Those are the good ones. PB&J or grilled cheese for snack?
Oh, they're both great.
Mm-hmm.
Go PB&J.
Because you don't want to fire up the stove?
Well, yeah, it's a lot harder.
Right?
A lot easier.
I would eat so much more grilled cheese or quesadillas or whatever if I didn't have to cook it.
Yeah, it takes a minute. Also, I like to toast PB&J. Me and Bert used to talk about it.
Yeah.
Bert thinks he invented it. But Bert was doing it before me, so maybe. But Uncrustables, you just pop them in the toaster. They're sealed on the edge. So it's not like toasting a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's like, it's perfect.
Man.
So
but
good.
lightly toasted, or are we talking about like?
Yeah, just lightly.
Yeah.
Yeah, just pop in there for a little, like whatever the lowest setting is.
I got to get a toaster. I do not own a microwave.
I didn't own a microwave until 3 months ago.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I made it 39 years without a microwave. And now I use it every day.
Really?
Because I do these meal things. They leave it at my doorstep every Monday, and then I just heat them up. That's my meal.
Yeah. Better than cooking.
I don't know how to cook. So I used to just eat out every meal.
Everybody should know one good joke and know how to cook one meal.
Why?
I don't know. That's what they said.
I think I know how to cook. I just don't.
You've never cooked anything in your whole life?
I made burritos once and shit, and I was like, what a waste of food.
But what about grilling? Can you like throw...
I'm one guy in my house, so it's like now I got to eat burritos for 12 days because I bought a whole head of lettuce and a thing of sour cream and the tortillas like stacked like.
I mean, I've lived alone for a million years.
Yeah.
You just portion it out.
You portion it out at the grocery store?
Well, I cook way too much and I eat way too much, but if I cook too much, I'll just save it in little Tupperwares and I'll have it again for a snack or lunch the next day.
I don't know. I'm just really banking on meeting a woman that can cook.
There you go.
That's what I'm banking on.
All right, ladies, get in Jeff's DMs.
If you cook, and you're nice.
Only if you're nice and you can cook.
Yeah,
or you
those
can
are the two
cook
big ones.
nicely.
Yeah, if you're a nice lady and you cook well, that's what I'm looking for.
Well, do you want to plug anything?
JeffDye.com is my website. You can see where I'm going to be. I'm all over. I'm touring all over. I'll be in Atlanta for the whole month of August shooting a project. I've never been there longer than a day, and now I'm going to live there for a month.
What part?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, Buckhead, I'm guessing. That's my guess.
Okay.
But I don't know. So that'll be exciting. If you know anything and you got any suggestions.
I was just there for a week.
Yeah? How was it?
It was great.
Would you be pissed off if you had to live there for 4 weeks?
No, I would not.
Cool.
Atlanta's great. What? And this is next month?
August. Yes.
August.
Yeah. It's a tough time.
Humidity. You've been in New York in the summer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's 2 showers.
I'm pretty good about heat.
Yeah.
Terrible at cold.
Okay.
Good at heat.
You're going to be fine.
Like a little lizard.
It's going to be humid.
Okay.
Humid?
Perfect for pools.
Yeah. It is perfect for pools.
Yeah, get sun.
I will be at the Improv Lab this Saturday the 1st, because this is coming out hopefully Thursday, which is 2 days from now. So it's fucking sold out. So you're not going to be able to see me at the Improv Lab.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Sold out.
It's my first time at the Improv.
Really? You're going to love it.
First time performing. I've been shooting there for years.
Okay. I would go. I would come stop by, but I'll be in Florida.
You will be in Florida. Oh, you'll be in Naples.
Yep, Off the Hook Comedy Club. Come check it out.
Yeah, we're very familiar with Naples. We'll tell you why in just a second.
Okay.
Jeff, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. This was really fun.
This was
I could talk to you all day.
I could too. And thanks for watching, everybody. Please check out all of Jeff's stuff, and then look out for his podcast that we're going to reboot here in just a few weeks. Thanks for watching. See you later.